And I was like, God, if you're really real, I think you would like show me a fish right now. You know?
That's a good point, Shane. I would actually be very convinced by that. Can you pray right now and have God show me a fish right now? And we are back. Bad Bible Debates here in Sweden. I'm a little bit shaken. Sorry. When we got in here, there were just knives everywhere. like on the floor, on the tables. Oh, there's one right there. Okay. And as you all know, Joel actually has ichnophobia, which is a fear of sharp things. So he ran the heck out of here. Anders, what is this? What are these? Why are these? Okay. So the janitor here apparently collects knives. That's not scary at all. What the fuck? Okay. Hey, well, Joel's ichnomophobic. You got to clean this up. He won't come in here. Crazy. That's bonkers. And speaking of bonkers, Christian logic. That's right. We are about to get a crash course on Christian logic. Now, this is one of my favorite clips. And I do get the whiteboard out in this clip, so if you want to see the visual, you'll have to come find it on my page, either YouTube or TikTok. But the audio was so good, I had to put it in there, and I think we do a good job of describing what we're writing down. Let's find out if P equals P or not. BBDs. Army, welcome in. What's your age and religion?
I'm 35 and I'm a Christian. Did you ever figure out what grounded logic?
What? What are you talking about?
We have these things called the logical laws. Do you know what they are?
No, can you just explain them to me?
Yeah, so everything that comports with reality, it kind of goes with this thing called the logical laws, which are absolute truths.
Are they grounded in reality?
From? Yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's what grounds logic, reality.
No.
But you just... Did he just say...
I heard something.
I said
grounded in reality.
Grounds logic.
And you said the laws of logic are grounded in reality, so I said logic is grounded in reality, but you're saying no? That's confusing to me.
So that's your answer?
That's your answer. I just... You found it for me. Is it wrong?
No, I asked you what grounds logic.
I just learned this. You're not going to believe this. I just figured this out. It's grounded in reality.
It's grounded in reality.
Yeah.
The explanation that logic exists is that we can see it in reality. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you think we can see logic in reality?
Yeah, like what is logic? Like something can't be one thing and not that thing at the same time?
Oh, no. So logic are a set of principles, right? Or let's say absolute truths. That's what I like to use, right?
I just read this over here. Logic doesn't need a justification.
Really?
Oh, it says that there?
So you're positing that logic is a brute fact?
It's just something that's observed.
Yeah, that's kind of what like brute fact means. It's pretty similar.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not pivoting, just so you know. I'm getting back to the conversation, but I need to know where you're coming from. Because some people come up here and they try to tell me stuff, and then later I find out they're like a flat earther, and I'm like, why was I listening to you? You're an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, are you a flat earther?
No.
Okay, so that's an easy one for you to answer.
That's absurd. That's
so absurd. Do you think that Genesis is a true story?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that you're the right person to have this like master class with us about like what logic is.
He's running.
No, I'm happy to listen for it. I just want to make sure. I'm going to listen to this, and Joel, I think you can listen too. But I just wanted you to know this. We should probably take it with a little bit of a grain of salt because this guy thinks snakes can sometimes talk, and they don't even have vocal cords. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's just something that children would believe.
Oh, I got a question.
Yeah. Okay, Army Father, go ahead and explain how logic is grounded in God for us.
Can you tell me if the Bible, in Genesis, which verse said that snakes talk?
Like 3:2, I think.
Genesis 3:2. Does
that sound right?
Yeah, it's Genesis chapter 3 when the serpent speaks to Eve and talks with the tree. They have a conversation.
Oh, I was so close. It's 3:4. I was pretty close.
But yeah, if you're splitting hairs, Army, from serpent to like serpent versus snake. I mean,
that's actually interesting. Let me Google what is let me Google like define serpent. It's a large snake.
Okay, well that's
so you don't think that serpent in that context is being used in a metaphorical way? So maybe some type of entity.
I do. You don't.
No,
See, that's not fair because he did ask you that, Army. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I
my
saw it if you
question
thought it
would
was a
be-
metaphor and you
my
said
question
no.
would be, if the Bible is literally talking about a snake in Genesis 4, this is the logical framework that I'm
ridiculous,
trying to
yeah.
get y'all to understand.
3.
Then why in Levitical law, when God says that you can't eat certain animals, a snake was mentioned and not a serpent?
You're
What are you
right.
talking about?
Do you think a serpent talked?
I don't believe a serpent talk, but
Oh, okay.
to believe that snakes can talk,
It's
I mean, that just
ridiculous.
seems ridiculous.
That's why I
right?
was so weirded
So
out when
why
a
would
minute
you
ago you said
correlate?
you did think that's what happened.
Why-
That's why I was
no.
like, this is weird. Like I couldn't I was like, this is going to be hard to listen to this. But yeah, you think
Did
that
the Bible
Genesis
say
is
a
metaphor.
snake,
You
or
don't
did
think
the
it really
Bible
happened.
say a serpent?
Well, it's in Hebrew. Do you want to like look it up? We
Well,
could
well,
look
did
up
the
the
Bible
word.
say snake or serpent?
I don't know. In mine
Because
says serpent
there
in this
would
one.
be two different distinctions if it's saying serpent.
What do
in
you think a
Genesis.
serpent is?
That's besides the point.
Do you think a serpent talked?
That's besides the point. Like I said,
It's exactly the thing we're talking about. So it wasn't a snake. So it was a
it's
serpent.
besides the point. It was a serpent in Genesis, and it was
That
a
talked.
snake in Leviticus when the law was given. Correct.
Right. So do you think in Genesis a snake talked? Obviously not. That's ridiculous, right?
Well, I'm just waiting for you to show me where it says snake.
It doesn't. That's why I'm
I mean,
saying,
if it
do you
says
think a
snake,
snake
then I would
talked?
say,
And then
oh,
you
man,
say
that's pretty
no.
wild.
I say no, I don't think that happened. Do you think a snake talked?
Didn't I already answer this?
Yeah, but you answered it two different ways, so I'm trying to figure
No,
out
I
which
didn't.
one is correct.
Let maybe ask it this way because I don't think he wants to answer snake versus serpent. Did animal talk to Eve in the Garden of Eden? Did a literal animal talk to Eve in the Garden of Eden?
No, I don't believe so. But hey,
Okay.
I mean, hey, if you believe that, then more power to you.
So weird, right? Yeah, that's why. Like, I was really confused earlier when he said that it wasn't a metaphor, that it was like literal. So that's weird. Wait, what are your three laws of logic
Atheists
grounded
don't
in?
have- Oh, they're grounded in God.
Can you show how?
Well, let me just ask you a question: are the three laws of logic immutable, or do they change?
I guess, in my opinion, they'd be immutable. Do you think they can change?
They're immutable. So
Is that something he can do?
I don't know. I've never seen that done before.
I would say no. I don't think he can make a pen be not pen. Let me just write this out for you. So this is a logical thing, right? P cannot equal not P. Do you think this is a true thing? Do you believe this as being a true law of logic?
What? P can not equal not P?
Wouldn't it be amazing if he doesn't know the laws of logic?
See, I think he might
Did you
not.
say P could equal not P? Is that what you
P
just said?
cannot equal not P. Do you think this is true or false?
That's false, bud. That's
So you think
thinking.
P-
That's what I'm trying to get you.
You're
to
saying
understand.
P equals not P? Did I correct it properly for you?
No.
How
P
should I write
equals
it then?
P. So you take away that little.
Okay, let's
line
do that
there.
one. P
P
equals
equals
P.
P. There
Which
you
law
go.
is that? Which law is that?
That's the law of non-contradiction. The first one is a contradiction. That's that if you put atheist equals atheist, that's what the first one is.
What?
If
No,
you
the
put
first
P,
one is an
if you
atheist.
substitute the P for atheist, and then you put equals,
Sure. Yeah, you got it. I'll
Not
do that. Okay, so I'm going to correct this
atheist?
for you.
Atheist equals atheist
And
does
you,
not.
and you want to say does
Yeah,
not equal
so-
not
so-
atheist? And you're
so,
saying
yeah,
this is
that's-
this true or false?
That's called a contradiction.
That I'm an atheist, which means I am not a not atheist?
No,
And you think that's a contradiction?
no.
Dude, this is 101.
Army, this is embarrassing because you're fighting for logic and you don't know what it is. Like you're fighting for logic based on a God that is illogical, and then you don't even know how logic works.
But where do the laws of logic come from?
That doesn't matter, you dummy.
So
But
He's
you
a
can't
troll.
learn logic.
He's got to be a troll. This is too goofy.
P equals P is the law of identity, right?
Yes.
What's the law of non-contradiction?
P cannot equal P.
Okay, I'm going to write that. This is the other law that you think. P
All right, look.
cannot
All right, look, I'm gonna give
equal
you- listen.
P. This is the one you just said,
No,
right?
listen.
This is
I'm
your
gonna give
Christian logic that you're fighting for right here, right?
Do you understand those laws?
I'm still trying to. I'm so close. I'm trying to learn them. I'm trying to figure out which one is which, and I need your
Okay.
help with this. I really do.
So listen, I'm going to break it down really, really slow for you. Okay. We have the law of identity. So a rock cannot be a not rock. So a rock is a rock no matter what.
Yep,
So,
the rock
do a rock?
cannot be
See,
a
this
not
is what
rock.
atheists do,
You
right?
fucking idiot. That's what I had written up here the whole
This is what
time.
atheists do.
The whole
No,
time.
you did it.
You did.
You changed that. You
What?
just changed that.
Yeah,
you
from
just
an
changed
A
that.
to an R, you moron.
Yeah,
Okay, he's a
lie.
troll. He's a troll. He's not that. Nobody's this
There's
dumb.
no way.
You changed
There's
that.
no way, dude.
Army, you're such a troll.
There's no fucking way.
Okay.
Do you want me to just
I
teach it
believe,
to
I'm
you?
going to go with what you said. Okay.
This one that you thought was so wrong and corrected, and then you came up with this. Everyone watching, this was the Christian logic that came out. Not the real laws of logic, but P is not P. Army, you gotta be done, dude. There's no way you can want to keep going.
We can't have a.
He's gotta be done, right?
This is what y'all do every time.
I fully agree with you. Yeah, we do this every time. We cook your ass on shit because you know nothing about logic, and you come up here trying to defend it, and you couldn't even do it. There's no way that was real. That he said the law is P does not equal P.
He doesn't know the laws of logic that he's defending by grounding in an illogical God. Like, it's so dumb.
Do you know what that is? Because the actual one that I wrote is called the law of non-contradiction. But then when he said P does not equal P, he made up a new one called the law of contradiction. Things must always contradict. And then you have the law of contradiction where everything must always contradict at all times. That's the Christian viewpoint.
The Christian God grounds the law of contradiction.
BB Days.
Hey guys, happy to be here, and sorry I wasn't there for the first segment, but I refused to come in to the studio when there's tons of violent weapons around. Like, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm just not going to do that. So Mezzo is currently outside blowing up more balloons. They're around here everywhere already, and so the thing is, like, I'm doing this right now. I'm not comfortable because once I hit one of the balloons out of the way, there's a knife. You know, like, there is tons of knife, and this one is there is some sort of ochre, some sort of a rust-colored liquid on this one. Like, I don't want to be here. Okay, I'm just going to do my thing. Listen, the next debate is about how horrible the story of Job is and how children shouldn't learn it. I mean, they're going to learn to be in abusive relationships and let somebody be abusive to them. That's what the Bible is. It's a book of the God being an abusive boyfriend and everyone being like, he's faithful, right? This is what's just priming children to be in the worst relationships possible. So don't let your kids read the Bible. Definitely don't let them read Job. Anyway, listen to the debate. I go on and on about it with this guy. Enjoy.
Well, okay, so you're saying kids shouldn't read the Bible because of gore and wars and stuff, correct?
There's just really heinous behavior and horrible ideas in there.
Well, we also read in textbooks in school about World War II, which is, I would say up there.
For sure. So this is a bit of a difference, right? Is that nobody is celebrating the baddest guy from World War II, right? Everybody's like, that is a bad guy. All of his behavior was bad. The problem with the Bible is we have characters that are like, these are good guys. You are one of these guys' kids. And then you read what they got up to, and then you go, well, are they really a good example, right? What Bible story do you think we should be teaching children?
I'd say Job, the story of Job.
The story of Job.
Yes.
You want kids to believe in a God that's going to point out someone and say, go torture him, Satan, and then kill all his kids and act as though if he gives him some other kids, that's going to erase the pain of killing his previous kids?
That's not the story of Job.
That's literally the story of Job.
It's not.
How do you read it?
I think what you're missing is, yes, that is a part of the story of Job, but you're not reading the full context. You're not seeing the full context of Job.
Yeah. You're like, I want children to read that they should, like, ask no questions and just let somebody abuse them and put them through suffering as a fun little bet or game.
Okay, do you read books or watch movies to see the moral side of it or the whole side of it, or do you see it just as, oh, this person did something bad and
Okay, you tell me the moral
No.
side of Job that you want children to learn.
The whole reason Job was written in that whole story was to give thanks in everything and have, still put your faith in God. It's not, oh yes, his children they died. Okay, that did happen. We know that. We both know that. I'm not going to
They
deny
didn't
that.
die. They were killed. They were
You know-
taken
You know what they were killed by?
by what? It's God allowing Satan to do it, I assume.
Satan was actually wandering the lands,
Yeah.
and saw Job and saw all the wonderful things that he had, and he went up to God, he met God,
Wrong. Let's have a look. Let's actually read this.
and then he went to God and he said, "Let me test him. Let me do all these things to him." And God said, "Okay." So God didn't directly go to Satan and say, "Test him." No, God did not do that.
One day, the heavenly beings came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser also came among them. So the accuser, of course, is Satan.
Yes.
So everybody comes up to heaven, I guess, and Satan comes to heaven, which is weird. The Lord said to the accuser, "Where have you come from?" The accuser answered the Lord, "From going to and fro on the earth and from walking up and down on it." So that
that's
seems like what
crazy.
you were saying.
That's exactly what I was saying. Go right
Right.
ahead. Read some more.
Okay. So now this is the pivotal moment where we're going to find out whether or not Satan goes, "And I was watching your friend Job, and I was looking, and I saw, and I, just noticed Job, and I've been looking at Job." The Lord said to the accuser, "Have you considered my servant Job? There's no one like him on earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil." Then the accuser answered the Lord, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a fence around him and his house and all that he has on every side?" So that's what I was saying, where he goes, "Hey, have you seen my guy? He's super faithful." And then the devil goes, "Yeah, that's because you're always good to him." So Baker, it seems like you're way wrong.
So essentially, I mean, you're reading it verbatim. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, yes. So he was. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth." Okay, so we have to take it into context. Satan is not roaming the earth back and forth to not do anything.
Don't you know that the answer's in the context? You're never gonna get it with the context. I don't know what it means either, but the context. The answer must be hidden in the context. Don't ask me what the context is, but all I know is it's context.
We're going to learn about the context. Now, just so they're aware, context sometimes means adding stuff to the text and making it up so that it makes sense in a narrative that I feel more comfortable with and not what it's actually saying. So, Baker, what is the context?
The context is okay, Satan, the person of bad and evil, as us Christians would like to call him.
Bad and evil? Go on.
Evil, whatever you want to call it. And you can do that and be an asshole if you want to. That's fine. He's not going to roam the earth and not try to do anything bad or evil. He's not going to just say, okay, whatever. So yes, he was going to God. Satan does not go to God unless he's asking for permission to do something. So he's like, what can I do?
I do not like people adding, I don't think it's fair to add to the scripture. Actually, I'm not that bothered by it, but God is really bothered by it. He says, don't add stuff to my book.
You don't believe in God, so you cannot talk about God believes or what God
I know,
not.
but it is what he said. Do you disagree with that?
I don't, no.
No, of course not. So it's stupid to push back on it. So maybe what's happening is he's saying, yeah, I was walking around. I was looking up and I was walking up and down, going to and fro. And maybe the implication there is looking for someone to fuck with. And then God says, have you considered my servant Job as someone to fuck with? The thing is that there's no reason whatsoever in this story to assume that Satan had noticed God's servant Job, because God points him out. God sets Job up for this. That's what's happening here. Not to mention God being omniscient. So this is a conversation, he knows where it's going. If God didn't want Job to get fucked with, he probably just wouldn't have brought him up.
check out my servant Job. He's always faithful. And the devil's like, yeah, because you've protected him. You've put a fence around him. And he goes, I bet you if you like took him out back and beat the shit, I bet you kill his whole family, kill all his kids. I bet you if you do that, he won't curse me. The devil's like, I'll take that bet. And then all the horrors ensue. And then at the end of all the horrors, God's like, I'll make it better. Remember those kids that you loved that I killed? Here's a bunch of new ones. What? You're still thinking about the other? Oh, the other ones were people in your life that you... Oh, and these ones don't make up for it because they're totally... Yeah, you love them, but they're totally different people and you still miss them. I don't know how human relationships work and how that might be still a horrific thing. I'm just God.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not understanding the prompt. Kids should not read the Bible.
Well, you think kids should be exposed to this kind of thing?
I do. I think it's good.
I think you're saying that like the God character in this is the Father. This is Abba Father, right? This is God. This is like your Father who art in heaven, right?
Yes.
This is what I'm teaching a child. I'm teaching there's someone who loves you in heaven. He's watching you, but he's taking care of you. He's taking care of everything. He wants to bless you. He loves you. You should love him back. By the way, any given moment, if he wants to win a bet, he's going to possibly send someone to fuck with you. And you should accept that. You should just roll over and take it. Maybe you'll meet a man or a woman someday, and maybe they'll behave the same way. These types of abusive relationships are good. You should stay in abusive relationships where somebody like allows you to suffer or even causes you to suffer, and you should just grin and bear it. Like, I wouldn't want a child to know that. If you ever become a dad, don't want that for your child, right?
Okay, here's the thing. Suffering comes from free will, and suffering
comes from God allowing the devil to fuck with you in this story.
God allows it because God is a just God. God wants you to have a
This isn't just. Okay, describe the justice in the Job story.
It's caused by free will. We were all sinners.
No, this isn't free will. This is Satan being told he can go fuck with Job. Where does this how is free will part of this?
Because God lets things happen. He's not going to just be like,
that's not free will.
Babies are dying of cancer and there's tornadoes ripping from here and there, but thank God we got free will to love the Lord. 3 billion kids dying with empty bellies, haven't charged God with a fucking felony. Oh, thank God we got free will to love the Lord. Billions of souls are gonna burn in hell forever. Billions of souls are gonna burn in hell forever and ever. Thank God we got free will to love the Lord.
Free will actually doesn't come into this. And this isn't a matter of justice, right? Like, neither of those ideas fix this or help it in any way. This is a story of someone being abused on a bet.
Okay.
I'm going to move on and talk to someone else because it doesn't seem like you have any answers.
What if God was one of us? Just a slob like slob blob blobs. I don't remember the words. Okay.
There it goes. Sorry, I was just playing with the... we got some balloons we're blowing up over here, just some helium balloons. I don't know why. We do what Bjorn says. I don't know if there's a party happening we don't know about or what the point of these are, but, it's fun.
Of course, under every balloon, more knives! This one has a wood handle. This one over here is covered in ketchup. This one's like a double-sided blade. There's just so many here. And they're pretty cool.
But, something dangerous could really happen with these around.
And I don't know, like if a bunch of, balloons floated a bunch of knives up into the air and they stabbed a bunch of people, that would be pretty wild, but wilder things have happened, right? And let's talk about them. When wild things happen, is it God? Is it miracles? Or do sometimes wild things happen? That's what this next clip is about. Hold on.
And we do get a little bit deep here. So this is just a fair warning that this next clip is going to be a little bit serious. And so please give it the proper respect that it deserves.
Whoa! That one almost got me.
I understand that people that try not to believe in Christianity and stuff and try to question everything, but I've had surreal encounters with Jesus. And
Well, we can tell you why it's surreal.
why? Do you want to hear my story though? Do you want to hear what happened?
So surreal means it's like almost unreal, like felt like it wasn't even real, kind of.
But it's like if you
Right,
had
that's what-
that if
is
you
that what
had that
surreal
encounter.
means?
No, but if you had that encounter where it was like anyone could try to explain you it's not real, but deep in your heart you know what you saw and you know what you felt, like there's no one that could convince you otherwise. And I feel like you just haven't had that experience yet. And it's like,
Oh, I have. I had it with atheism.
that doesn't make sense.
No, I had an experience where I like knew deep inside my heart, and no one could tell me otherwise, that atheism was true.
That it was or wasn't.
It is. Atheism is true. I know for sure. I felt it in my heart based off an experience I had.
What was your experience?
I was like in this conversation, and we were kind of going back and forth, and then this guy who was a Christian tried to say that P doesn't equal P, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, the one that
I
was
know
just
in my
on.
heart. No, that's confusing because that just happened. But this was like years ago.
Yeah.
And I like since that moment I felt in my heart the true reality that atheism was true.
Okay. Well, when I was fishing and for 2 hours, I was with my dad and my grandpa, and I didn't believe in God. I had questions, and I was wondering, I was like, is there really a God or whatever? And we didn't catch a fish for 2 hours, and I was like, God, if you're really real, I think you would like show me a fish right now. I opened my eyes, and we had 2 fish on at the same time. How can I look at that? How can I look at that and be like, you know what? God's not real. You know?
That's a good point, Shane. I would actually be very convinced by that. Other people here would be too. Joel might be too. Can you pray right now and have God show me a fish right now?
I mean, it's not on my timing, you know. There's God's timing.
Yeah, it is. You just asked and he did it. It was on your timing.
Because yeah, I see what you're saying there, but there's times where like he reveals himself in his timing. Like maybe you like I really needed to see him right there, and I saw him.
Are like 460 people in this room that really need to see God right now. Like so many of them do not believe. They're a bunch of heathens. So if you could do anything, if you could send a message up to the big man to do some sort of like maybe remove the fluffy thing on Mezzo's mic or something like that.
A lot of the people who come to my live, and I know we get a mixed bag, but there is a group of like well over 100 people who are in here today who are terminal. They're in the same hospital there, and they don't have a lot of time left, and they are atheists, which means that there is a bit of a ticking timer here for them to have a chance to convert. So if you can at least try just to ask for a fish or anything else.
I understand like the fish stories, like kind of like wow, like why would that show up as like a fish?
Like
you know, I guess
thing,
it seems stupid. Like I agree.
Do you want to try something else?
Like what?
So I'm in a garage right now.
Okay.
And it's like an electric garage door opener. It only takes like 300 watts to trigger the garage on. Probably even less than that. Do you think that's something he could just open my garage right now?
Like, no. I feel like
he couldn't do 300 watts is too hard to ask.
This is what's crazy, Shane, is that you came in, you go, this is an amazing, crazy story that's like, I wouldn't believe it if it wasn't true. I said a prayer. God gave us 2 fishes. This literally happened. You're basically saying, I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of God. And we're sitting here going, hey, let's get some menial tasks. Let's see that same thing. You're like, nah, it can't happen.
I'm in, dude. I believe you. I think that really happened. I want it to happen to me. If God is real, I want to know it. I really sincerely do. I like what's true. So if God is real and has like power to intervene in this world, in the way that you're saying, not like that he can like heal sick kids or do like help people who are like enslaved or things like that, but in the way where he can like make fish appear, I want that realness to happen for me. I'm not going to eat, like I don't like fish, but like like maybe can we do like an alive one because like they're cute.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. God bless.
So
I hope
you don't want to
no
try.
No, I gotta go eat and I gotta go do stuff. But I just want.
What
to
if
share.
it happened? This could have been an opportunity.
That's a completely different situation. Like your garage door is something that's man-made and human. Like this is something that's made out.
You're
of, like,
giving
nature.
excuses without trying, because like maybe you do it and just by coincidence at the same time my wife walks in and just opens the garage to bring groceries in. Holy fucking shit! That would still blow my mind, and I would have to rethink a lot of my life. Like, why not just try? Are you just like worried that it's going to be kind of embarrassing when you know for sure it doesn't happen?
I mean, because like it's not something that you would just like pray about. I'm not gonna pray like, "Yo, open your garage door right now in Jesus' name," and it's gonna happen. You know, like it's something
Just
that
checked in case that counted. I just checked because if you had just said that, like I'm not going to do that, but then God was like, "Fuck yeah, I am," and did it.
Yeah.
It didn't. It didn't open.
I
That.
think, but like something that if you really want a prayer to come true, you got to have faith. You can't just say a prayer and not have faith. You know.
But you
That's why
didn't
we're
have
not the
faith.
ones praying.
But I
He's
did
the-
have. I was curious. I wanted something to be revealed.
That's exactly
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you
I
guys.
can do-
I just wanted to share my story and just like if you had an encounter like that, you'd be like, yeah, God is real. You know.
That's what we're asking for.
I mean, it's not gonna like. I don't. It could happen. You got to pray about it. You got to pray about it. You got to be curious. You know.
Jane, you're such a waste, man. I don't believe your story at all. I think you're
Well,
lying.
then there you
And now
go.
it seems, now it seems like a lie. Is that like what you wanted us to say?
This is what I was saying. It's like
That's
if
what you wanted us to say.
No, like if you had the encounter, you can tell me it's not real and you don't believe me, but I know deep in my heart that like that situation.
No, you don't.
Real.
You're lying. You don't believe that. You don't believe that the prayer works.
Why
you
would
don't
I
believe
lie?
That you can.
Why would
I don't know, man.
You're trying to trick
you're
us.
Being weird.
Here's a real question that I actually have. Let's say God wanted you to have fish, but he doesn't want to open my garage. Why is it the case that God will prove himself to some people and not to others? How can it all just God reveal himself to some people and not other people? It seems like everybody should get fish appearing to them.
Yeah. I feel like it would be if you're searching and you really want to see it. I feel like you would find a situation where he does reveal himself to you. I feel like you got to give him more of a chance than that. You know.
I'll tell you this: I've had amazingly like bizarre coincidences happen when I wasn't asking for God. Very, very like spectacularly wonderful, phenomenal experiences.
You were like, "This is my," because atheism's where you don't believe in anything.
I just don't think that there's a God, is what it means. So I don't think that a God was behind it. But when I was like in need of some closure, something like really special happened to me. I don't think it was God that did it though, because I didn't ask, and God wouldn't give me a proof if I didn't sincerely ask, right?
I mean, there's situations where it's like there's weird scenarios, but I feel like my scenario was so specific.
Oh, mine was way weirder than yours, by the way.
Explain it.
Yeah, so after I talked about this earlier, my first son passed away before he was born. He was born prematurely and died. His name was Little Bear. And after that, like my wife and I...
Wait, your son's name was Little Bear?
Yeah, we named him before he came out, like he was in womb.
Okay, I'm sorry about your loss.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine. I'm good now. This was just like over 3 weeks ago. It's totally fine. So we were no, I'm just kidding. This was years and years ago.
Okay.
My wife and I were walking around one day, and we were like, we need to find a river. Like, let's just get in a river. That'll feel good to get in a river, kind of like shake this off a bit. But we're in California. There's not like a lot of like you can't just jump in the LA River. It's fucking gross, right? So we're going around like trying to find rivers, and like this one's dried up and stuff. And we finally like find this river that's like up in the mountains kind of, and it's really a stream. It's like a small stream, and we're like just in the stream, kind of cooling down. It was a hot day, and we were just like sad and thinking about Little Bear. Behind me in the water, a little baby bear showed up.
Like a stuffed animal?
Nope, a real live young bear. And my wife goes, "Don't panic. There's a bear in the water with us." And I looked, and sure enough, there was a little bear looking at us. We got out of the water, and usually when there's a little bear, there's mama bear close behind. So we were like, let's be careful here. Never saw mama bear. It ran up the hill and was lost.
Gone. Okay.
This gave me some like beautiful closure. I thought it was an awesomely poetic moment of coincidence that happened. I wasn't asking for God for anything. So do you think that was God doing that?
I mean, if you didn't pray about it, I mean, it could have been a sign.
If I don't like have faith in it already, then it can't be a sign. That's what you said before. Yeah, I mean, it's like honestly, like has more like magic to it than like we were fishing and then there were fish. Like, of course there were fish. You were fishing. That happens sometimes.
I mean, yeah, I guess my story could just be a bunch of baloney, but I think not catching a fish.
No, I think your story is true, but I just think you should like zhuzh it up a little bit. Like add some loss in there that usually like tugs on the heartstrings. People will believe it a bit more.
I feel like God doesn't need to be like he doesn't need to be need this fluff. Like if you have that experience, then you have that experience. You don't need this special fluff to like spread the word.
You can just do like a small basic thing, and it'll just still be good enough.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, thanks for your time.
You could open a garage door, maybe. Or...
Yeah. But thanks for chatting. Hope y'all have a good night. I'll see ya.
Thanks, Shane. Yeah, it's still closed. I just checked in case there. Hey, finally both here.
Oh, there you are. Finally, let's do the outro.
Yep, take it away, buddy.
Well, that's it from us. I'm Joel.
I'm Mezzo.
And I'm Joel. And just make sure you follow Bad Bible Debates wherever good podcasts are sold.
Yeah, or wherever you normally hijack them from.
And if you can, like it or leave a comment or anything on whatever platform you're using, please do that too.
That's right, buddy. And be sure to follow me on YouTube and TikTok. That's where we record all of these lives from. So if you want to catch the whole thing live, we got a lot of stuff going on over there.
We're always going live on TikTok and on YouTube. So yeah, definitely follow Mezzo there. And also, hey, look, follow me on TikTok, Joel Reads Bible, or subscribe on YouTube at Joel Reads Bible.
Oh, right. I guess I should say my handle is Mezzo_WS. That's pretty much the same on everything.
That's it from us for now. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Bad Bible Debates.
Dude, I think that went really well.
Actually, you know what? I think that was one of our best.
Oh, I wouldn't say best. I mean, it was okay.
No, I'm not joking.
I really liked your part.
You're so hard on yourself. You know, just listen closer to mine, and maybe you'll get it. You know, I think eventually you will get it. Baby.